these athletes have spent a lifetime preparing to excel and be the ultimate in a given arena. With imitation being the highest form of flattery, tonight is their opportunity to emulate the stars. To shine in a forum they once dreamed they might perform. Next on TNT. Welcome to the America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona for the 9th annual Foot Locker Slam Fest. Hi everybody, I'm Dick Stockton, and this is an event that has really picked up momentum over the years. Players have a lot of fun competing, and we expect an exciting and fun competition today. And we have 16 athletes representing 5 different sports competing for over $200,000 in prize money. And here's how it works. We have 2 events. We have the slam dunk, in which we have 3 rounds, and we have the long distance shootout, in which we have 2 rounds. Working with a 2-sport man in his own right, Danny Ainge, who played baseball with the Blue Jays. You know about his NBA career. What is it like to be a 2-sport guy where you really can show some of the skills in both of those sports?
Well, Dick, I think everybody likes to prove to people that they're better than just their individual sport. They like to show off. You say showcase, I say show off their individual talents.
And they love to show off, don't they?
They love to show off. All these guys have been practicing their dunks. A lot of them have played basketball, so they're ready to play.
All right, let's take a look at now at the breakdown of the different sports that we have here. We have 10 players in football, 2 from baseball, 2 track and field. We have 1 fighter and 1 from beach volleyball. Well, of all of those athletes representing those sports, who might have an edge, if anyone, in this kind of competition?
Well, I don't know if there's any one sport that has an advantage over the other ones, Dick. I think the big advantage is the guys that have played basketball. Cris, Kenny Lofton. Those guys have been basketball players in their earlier days, and I would say they have the advantage.
All right, Danny, let's take a look now at the 16 performers and the way they're going to be bracketed up. Cris Carter, the defending champion, with a volleyball player, Adam Johnson. That's an interesting matchup. Willie Green and Eric Hansen, football and baseball. Alvin Harper, who may wish he had played with the Dallas Cowboys this year. William Rope, the big lineman from the New Orleans Saints. And Terry Kirby and Brian Cox. Mike Conley and Isaac Bruce.
Well, I think Mike Conley is the favorite from my perspective. He played basketball as a youngster, and he's got great jumping ability, obviously, being a track man.
Conley, a 3-time champion here at this competition. Joey Galloway and Curtis Martin, 2 football players representing the AFC. And Kenny Lofton, who played college basketball at Arizona and played in the Final Four against Jeff Blake, a very fine quarterback. Butch Reynolds from track fame, and Roy Jones Jr., a fighter. So that's the story right now. It should be an exciting competition right now. Let's send it over to Cheryl Miller with our defending champion, Cris Carter. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Dick. Well, Cris, you are king of the mountain, and it seems like there are guys lined up to push you off. Who do you think is going to be your main competition?
Well, I'm going to try to get through the first couple rounds, but of course, anytime you're in a situation like this, it's Mike Conley, and then Alvin Harper, then Lofton can surprise a lot of people too, even though he's little.
Now, I don't want to be the gossipy type, but rumor has it that the guys have done a pretty good, scouting report on you. They said that after you finish with the over-the-cam slam tomahawk, that you may not have anything left, but you told me earlier that you might be working on a secret weapon.
Yeah, I got one other dunk. If I can get there, I got one other dunk to bring it home.
All right, Cris, good luck.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
And now we're set for the Foot Locker Slam Fest. And right now, let's take a look at the rules of the competition. There'll be 2 dunks per competitor in the first 2 rounds. It's a single elimination competition, no props, and a missed dunk receives a score of 0. $7,500 for the first round, up to $50,000 for the champion. And here is Cris Carter, former high school basketball star, by the way, at Middletown, Ohio. His older brother, Butch, out of Indiana, is an assistant coach with the Milwaukee Bucks of the NBA. So here is Cris Carter, one of the outstanding wide receivers in the NFL for several years.
Well, Dick, the key in the first round is to just make sure you advance. Cris did a very simple dunk, just trying to get to the second round.
And here it is, Cris Carter again. He's not showing his wares totally, is he, here?
No, he's saving it. He's got all the good dunks in the bag. He's just trying to get to the second round, saving his best dunk for later.
So Cris Carter with a score of 8.2. Now, he's matched up with volleyball star Adam Johnson, who missed both of his dunks and was eliminated. We have a distinguished panel of judges. Former NBA stars Connie Hawkins, Bill Walton is here tonight, Charlie Scott, and Calvin Murphy. And also joining us tonight, Jim Davidson, and he is with the head judge.
I'm here with George Gervin, the Iceman, and I was wondering before we get started here, would the finger roll constitute a dunk in this contest?
I don't think so, but I don't think too many of them can do it either.
What are you looking for as these guys get up there?
Well, you know, creativity, you know, and see what the guys can do with the basketball. Of course, you know, we're looking for some, you know, some powerful dunks, you know, because of these guys not real basketball players, but we're looking for some excitement also.
If this event was around when you were playing, would you have been in it?
Oh, no question. I think I could have won this one.
I don't think there's any question that George Gervin could have won that one. And here is Willie Green, who had 47 catches and 6 touchdowns for the expansion Carolina Panthers last year. And he's matched up against Eric Hansen, who's with the Toronto Blue Jays this year, pitched for the Red Sox last season. Here is Willie Green with his first dunk.
Well, Willie showing a lot of confidence in the first round, Dick. Feels like he just needs to get the easy dunk, make a dunk, and try to get to the second round.
Playing it safe, and that's the way to get through. We saw the volleyballer, Adam Johnson, didn't make it.
This is just your basic two-hand slam. He tries to take it back and tomahawk it a little bit, but not too much of a chance, too much of a gamble in the first dunk.
And he doesn't know what Eric Hansen's going to do, but Willie Green comes in with an 8.5 score on his first dunk. So now Eric Hansen, well-traveled pitcher, and a hoop star in New Jersey. Now let's go back and take a look at his first dunk.
Well, you can tell he's an accurate pitcher, Dick. He throws the ball right up next to the rim. I don't think he could have dunked that if it would have been 3 inches off either way. So it was a perfect pass and a good dunk, but not enough to get him to the second round. That might be. That's going to be close to the 8.5 score.
He had an 8.4, and let's see what Eric Hansen gets here in his battle with Willie Green. An 8.5 score on the second dunk. Now, by virtue of Green's 5.5 on the second dunk, head judge George Gervin will break the tie with his highest score on each of those 8.5 dunks.
Which one goes? Hansen goes. Hansen goes. Yeah. He got 8, 9, yeah.
So Eric Hansen goes, and he joins Cris Carter to move into the second round. And coming up, we have those matchups in the group still to come along. And 9-1 on his first dunk. Here's his second, Danny.
Well, that's a very simple dunk again. Alvin has a lot more. We see him do that on the goalposts after he scores touchdowns in the NFL, so we know he's capable of a lot more dunks than that.
He's been here before trying to get at least to the finals. Here's another look.
Well, right here again, this reminds me of him scoring a touchdown pass from 80 yards, running down, slamming the football behind his head over the goalpost in Dallas Stadium. But again, Alvin's got a lot more to his dunking repertoire than that, Dick. He's just trying to advance to the next round.
He gets a 9.3 for his second dunk after the 9.1. Now 300-pound Willie Rope of the New Orleans Saints, 2 Pro Bowls. He did not get anything in his first dunk. Played it safe, and at least the basket stayed up.
Well, I don't think he felt he could beat Alvin. I think he was just trying to make the dunk after missing the first one. But anybody that's over 300 pounds and can make a dunk should get at least a 9.
And all that jewelry flying through the air as well. Willie Rope, very popular lineman for the Saints.
You know? Yeah. I got up, but I just took off 2 days later.
8.2 for William Rope, and he is eliminated. And now Terry Kirby, Miami Dolphins running back. His former teammate Brian Cox is now with the Chicago Bears. This is going to be Kirby's first dunk attempt.
Kirby very confident that he can beat a linebacker, a former teammate linebacker. He knows Brian Cox is not near as good a dunker as him. He's just trying to get into that second round again, Dick. Just make it something simple. Here's a perfect lob pass. Make sure he grabs it and gets it up over the rim.
Terry Kirby, the running back, who's going to be playing for a new coach in Miami, Jimmy Johnson. And a little flair for Mr. Kirby. And his score, 9.1. Now, Brian Cox, this is his second dunk. He missed his first, so he'll need a 9-2, Danny, to advance.
Well, I think Brian, like William Roth, just wants to make one. Nope, can't do it. Again, I think William and Brian need to take their jewelry off. They got the Mr. T starter kit around their neck that might have made the dunk had he taken that 3-pound gold chain off his neck.
No excuses. Anyway, Terry Kirby doesn't need to take a second dunk because he is advanced, and here's another look at Brian's miss.
Well, I think he should have just got it in his hand. He tried to cup it in and not quite high enough vertical for that.
And here are the final Group A standings with the 4 who advanced: Cris Carter, Eric Hansen, Alvin Harper, and Terry Kirby. And this should be a pretty good matchup. Mike Conley against Isaac Bruce. Mike Conley, the only person to compete in all 9 Foot Locker Slam Fest contests.
Mike Conley's got to be a little careful here, Dick, because he's got to do something pretty good because Isaac Bruce is a sleeper. Pretty simple dunk. I don't know if that's enough that's going to get him into the second round.
Remember, this is his first dunk, and he's got 2. So Mike Conley, another look at his first foray.
Well, I say simple for his standpoint, Dick, but that's a pretty impressive dunk in slow motion. Takes off from about the college 3-second lane, but I think, again, he got a 9.1. He needs a lot higher score than that.
And the great triple jump champion gets a 9.1, indeed, on his first attempt. And now Isaac Bruce, who played a big role in the Rams surge this year.
Pretty basic dunk. I don't think he realizes he's dunking against the defending champion or a past champion.
It was pretty emphatic, but a first dunk of 8.6 puts him behind Mike Conley. And for a closer look at our perennial slam dunk star, here's Jim Davidson.
Mike Conley is the master of the triple, meaning the triple jump, as well as a 3-time winner of the Slam Fest. So it's obvious whether he's jumping out or jumping up, the man has hops. But what I can't understand is why he raises Rottweilers on his farm outside of Fayetteville, Arkansas. You'd think that a man who spent most of his adult life jumping in and out of pits would raise pit bulls.
Well, growing up in Chicago, basketball was, part of your daily life routine, and so in doing something in basketball, it's always been a dream to play in the NBA, and that was always a big dream. That and the Olympic Games to me was the only thing as a child that I really wanted to do, and I had to pick one or the other, and so I'm glad I picked what I picked. Yeah, I went to the University of Arkansas to play both basketball and run track. And at that time, the coach was Eddie Sutton. He didn't play freshman very much, and he said that it'd be into my junior year when I get a chance to play, and then I had opportunities to make the Olympics before then. And we both decided that, hey, in 1984, you can be on the Olympic team, and that's something real special. So we made that decision together, and just, hadn't turned back since. I had people getting off a plane and say, hey, ain't you Mike Conley? I was like, yeah, I'm the, the Olympic guy. And he's like, the slam dunker, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's me, and I had to become a new role, in the public's eye. But that's fine. I've always wanted to be known as the greatest jumper of all times, regardless if it's the long jump, high jump, triple jump, dunk in the basketball, whatever, because I can jump off 1 foot, 2 foot, triple jump, long jump, high jump, doesn't matter. And so this is just another avenue that people get to see me in, is at the Foot Locker Slam Fest.
And we like to see him raise not only the Rottweilers, but the 15 ostriches that he has in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Well, Mike Conley, who had a 9.1 in his first dunk, now making his second attempt.
Well, Mike's showing why he chose triple jumping over basketball. He's not a very good passer.
Outside the lane.
The basket hasn't moved. No, Mike Conley trying to get something going here in his second dunk.
No. I was confident. I thought I was going to still catch it.
He looks confident.
Pretty simple dunk, Dick. He didn't have confidence that he could throw the ball off the board, so he did something pretty simple.
Mike Conley trying to win a 4th Foot Locker Slam Fest title.
Here he just goes up, keeps the ball in his hand, decides against the pass, double pump, Little flare hanging on the rim.
I had confidence. I thought I still was going to catch it. As I ain't blaming nobody.
A 9-1 for Conley for his second dunk, so he had 9-1 on both of them. So Isaac Cris will now need a 9.2 to advance to the second round.
Dick, he has potential. He has an excellent jumping vertical. He could beat him, beat Conley.
Well, that looked pretty impressive.
It's going to be close, Dick. It'll be interesting to see what the Iceman decides here, and the judge of panels. Panel of judges.
And they are distinguished judges. And here's Isaac Cris again. Prolific year as a wide receiver for the St. Louis Rams. And a 9-1, which ties Mike Conley.
Conley.
George Gervin gave him a 9-3 on the final dunk, so Mike Conley will advance to the second round on the decision by the head judge, George Gervin.
Michael Conley playing with fire a little bit.
Now Joey Galloway and Curtis Martin, two young rookie players in the NFL. Galloway, did he distinguish himself last year, scoring a touchdown by punt return, receiving, and rushing? Joey Galloway, rookie for the Seattle Seahawks. This is his first dunk.
Excellent dunk. He's showing he can pass and jump on that dunk. These wide receivers in the NFL are putting on a pretty good show.
And so is that guy, Cris Carter. Charles Barkley enjoying the activity in his hometown of Phoenix.
Here he makes a beautiful lob pass, puts it right in front of the rim, finishes it off. Fairly simple dunk, good execution.
And a score of 9-3 for Joey Galloway. And let's see how the running back from the New England Patriots, the NFL Rookie of the Year, Curtis Martin, answers the 9-3 dunk by Galloway on his first attempt.
Same kind of dunk, chose to do it with one hand instead of two hands.
That was pretty impressive for Curtis Martin in the battle of outstanding rookies in the NFL and some of his teammates.
Well, I think this is a little bit better dunk than Galloway simply because he throws it down with a little bit more authority at the basket, which you're able to do with one hand. Not quite as good of a pass, reaches out and finishes it off. Good dunk.
And good timing. And Curtis Martin with a 9.4, and that is the highest score in the first round. And now, here is Kenny Lofton, center fielder for the American League champion Cleveland Indians, who was a basketball star at Arizona, reached the Final Four. Here's his first dunk.
Kenny just getting warmed up.
This is a home game for him.
I think he is the crowd favorite in this competition, without any question.
Kenny Lofton with an 8.8, and here's Jeff Blake. Missed his first dunk. He needs an 8.9 to move on. And he doesn't. Kenny Lofton advances. And now, here is our last matchup. Butch Reynolds from track fame. He had an 8.6 on this dunk.
Pretty simple dunk. Didn't have to do much. Roy Jones missed his first dunk, so Kenny just trying to get it in. Butch did right here, and just a simple back reverse slam. Barely got it over the rim.
And Roy Jones Jr. from the boxing game, and he missed both of his, and here was his last miss.
Roy has excellent vertical, Dick. He just doesn't have big enough hands to hang on to that ball.
So Roy Jones Jr., who, by the way, played in the CBA, and he has been eliminated. So our second round matchups, it'll be Cris Carter and Eric Hansen, Alvin Harper and Terry Kirby, Mike Conley and Curtis Martin and Kenny Lofton and Butch Reynolds. Pretty good second round matchup coming up here from Phoenix.
Get it in, dunk it in. Dunk the ball in the hole.
That's how easy it was. So Alvin Harper eliminated. Terry Kirby advances to the finals. Now Kenny Lofton on his first dunk in the second round, given a 9-4, and he moved on as Butch Reynolds was sent packing. So Lofton advanced. And with this group out showcasing their dunking skills tonight, Jim Davidson found out exactly where they learned the art of the dunk.
When the men in the Slam Fest were only boys, they all studied art somewhere, whether it was in school or just the art of making a mess around the house. And some of them, they were even touched by the greats, like Picasso. But when it comes to the art of dunking, there was truly only one master, and he touched them all, Dr. J.
Dr. J, he was always my favorite. Dr. J was definitely the man, afro and all.
Probably the biggest idol I've ever had as a child was Julius Erving.
Dr. J, he was the man.
Dr. J, all day. Had my Chuck Taylors on and everything.
I used to like his hairstyle, too. I used to like the afro, and I used to like kind of the aura about him and, you know, the doctor.
Dr. J.
I was a Dr. J fan. The flying through the lane, dunking over people, that kind of stuff, you know, really excited me.
I grew up in the day of Julius Erving, George Gervin, you know, those guys, and you know, I wanted to play with those guys. I wanted to, you know, be a part and do the dunk. I knew I could jump. I knew I could play basketball.
Play basketball he can, and also create a stir in the second round, as Cheryl found out with Charles Barkley.
So who do you like in the finals?
Well, my favorite, Alvin Harper, got beat, so I tell you, Eric Hanson's not bad. So I'm going to go stick with...
Look, we got a little hocus pocus going on.
Oh, the old Ced Ceballos. I got to cut holes in my jersey so people think I'm...
Regardless if there's any holes.
What do you think of Mike Conley?
That was great.
Conley may have to be the favorite, right?
Tell you what, I'm going to go out on a limb. No, I'm going to take Conley. Since Cris Carter got beat, I'm going to go with Conley.
All right, Charles. Hey, enjoy the rest of the competition.
Take care. Good to see you.
That's a pretty tough call for Charles Barkley. He really did go out on a limb. Michael Conley now is becoming a crowd favorite along with Kenny Lofton, but he can certainly see through that jersey on that dunk.
He had a 9-8 on that first dunk. Now here's his second one, Danny.
Well, that is a beautiful dunk. He's showing the crowd now, waving to the crowd, waving to the judges on the nice lob pass, showing that he can pass as well as jump.
I like the way Charles jumped on that bandwagon.
Yeah, you notice how he waited until the hocus pocus dunk, and he got the crowd involved.
Mike Conley has the crowd involved.
You got to watch him wave to the judges, wave to the crowd. He makes a beautiful pass, but he shows his athletic ability. The pass was a little bit off. He was still able to finish the dunk. Watch, this is not a perfect lob.
A perfect 10 for Mike Conley with that dunk. Now they're going wild. Mike Conley doing everything but cutting off the nets. The third 10 in Slam Fest history. And Mike Conley has it, and he advances to the finals, eliminating Curtis Martin. And our finalists, Mike Conley, Eric Hansen, Kenny Lofton, and Terry Kirby.
Excited about the three-point win than he is the slam dunk contest.
There are the rules. The crowd ready to see what these guys can do. Eric Hansen had an 8-5 to defeat Willie Green in the first round, and then an 8-7 to advance to the finals. Here he is with his first dunk.
Well, he's bringing it out. He's bringing it out. He knows he has to get better than the 8-7, but he just barely got away from the basket, couldn't get it over the front of the rim.
A 7-3. Terry Kirby had a 9-1. Very impressive in the first round. And now getting ready for his first dunk.
Good dunk pick. He puts a little pressure on the two favorites, Lofton and Conley.
Brian Cox still around to enjoy the festivities, and Terry Kirby with his first dunk. Here it is again.
Right here, it's just your basic 360 dunk. Actually, it's about a 260. Cheats a little bit on the jump, but good dunk nevertheless.
Who's complaining about 100 degrees? Anyway, Terry Kirby and 8-9.
I'm only 6'1".
Still an 8-9.
Only 6'1", though. That is a good point. That's a pretty impressive dunk for a football player.
Mike Conley's first dunk, and he's not ready to go yet. Perfect 10 to defeat Curtis Martin in round 2, and that got the crowd out of their seats.
That is beautiful. You notice how he set the dunk up. He showed the judges, he showed the fans what he was going to do. Hit his feet, kind of like getting your steps down for the triple jump.
Another look at Mike Conley, ever the showman in this Slam Fest.
He takes off from just inside the college lane, hits his ankle, and still dunks the ball. That's an impressive dunk. I'd love to see this guy in the NBA slam dunk contest.
I think he'd like to try too. And a 9-8. So Mike Conley had a 10 and a 9-8 in his first dunk. Now here's Kenny Lofton.
Now Kenny needs to get a good dunk right here. He needs to try to either tie that 9-8 or beat that 9-8. A lot of pressure on Kenny. He can't save it for the last. He's got to do it now.
Pretty impressive on that one.
Well, the crowd sure felt like it. Kenny is the crowd favorite still. Even though Conley's got a 10 dunk, he's the local favorite.
Here it is, Kenny Lofton again going high over the rim.
Takes it all the way down below his knees, backwards dunk. The crowd goes crazy. That's got to give him a few extra points.
And you remember, Mike Conley had a 9-8. So Kenny Lofton trying to at least equal it. That'll bring a smile to his face. A 9-9. So the scores after the first dunk. And Jim is with Mike Conley's supporter.
Mike Conley has been to the Slam Fest all 8 years that it's happened so far. He's won it 3 out of those 8 years. He's trying to do so again this year, and he brought his whole family along, so let's meet him.
Hello.
You are?
Alex Conley.
And you are?
Jordan Conley.
And you are?
Michael.
And?
Ora Conley.
And Monica.
Well, they're out in force making some noise, but let's run this in reverse real quickly. Just these two right here. What's your name again?
Michael.
And what is your name again?
Jordan.
Michael. Jordan. Anybody see the connection?
Yeah, perfect connection.
Well, I don't know about that 9.9 score. The crowd definitely played a factor in that judge's decision.
And that is really not a surprise, is it? Here's Kenny Lofton, his second dunk.
Well, that's okay, Dick. You can get away with one dunk. They only take the 2 highest scores of the 3 combined.
Now, Michael Conley has made his way to the floor to give his dad some assistance.
Was that Michael or was that Jordan? Showing him the Michael Jordan dunk, taking off from the free throw line.
Well, Mike Conley with a 9-8 in his first effort. Here is his second dunk.
Oh, my goodness. Age 33, he can still jump from the free throw line. It must be that ointment that he was rubbing on his legs.
Someday his kids will probably do the same thing. A high five with the youngsters.
He takes just inside. That's about where Michael Jordan took off, maybe a little bit closer, but that's impressive for a small guy.
And reminiscent of where Brent Barry took off in this year's slam dunk competition as well. Mike Conley, 9-9 in his second dunk and a very impressive combined score of 19.7. He looks like he is eagerly looking for a 4th championship here. Danny, let's take a look at Jordan in '88, Brent Barry this year, where they took off from.
Just barely behind where Conley took off, and Conley's a lot smaller than both of Barry and Jordan. We see where Barry, he just fudges a little bit, a scratch over that free throw line. And here's Conley. He's used to that line being there, but he scratches on this one as well, but just about an inch or two ahead of those NBA players.
Well, at this point, Terry Kirby can't beat Mike Conley's total of 19.7, but he can still finish second for the $25,000. Here he goes.
I think he's playing for third. I don't think that's going to get second unless Lofton misses his next dunk.
We're going to see Terry Kirby still fighting, even though he knows he can't win the whole thing.
Well, this is a good dunk. Terry Kirby is showing his all-around athleticism right here. Good pass, good dunk.
And a 9-0 score.
Well, you would know that I got to get mine in a big black truck. You could get yours in the 6-4. Whatever it is, the party's underway.
Stick to linebacking, huh, Brian? Here's Eric Hansen at a 7-5 in his first dunk. I hope I don't run into him this football season.
He tried to emulate Vinny Del Negro taught Kenny Smith that dunk right there, but couldn't quite get to the basket. Good lob, not good enough jumping ability.
Well, right now, the best Eric Hansen can do is finish third in the competition. And so, Kenny Lofton and Mike Conley still alive. $50,000 first prize coming up next. Back in Phoenix for the conclusion of the Foot Locker Slam Fest.
We ain't like when they move that pass, they go deep and just throw it out. That's nobody get it. We had good
Getting ready now for his final dunk. He needs a 9-9 to move past Mike Conley into first place.
Well, Dick, he's got all the support. The crowd's going crazy, stomping their feet. Everybody's behind him. I think that might have done it, Dick. That's going to be close.
Mike Conley may think so, looking at his expression.
Good style, good creativity. Kenny's just been waiting for the right moment to pull out the behind. This is a lot like Karl Malone right here when he goes in for a dunk on the fast break. These guys always trying to emulate one of the NBA players.
And his timing had to be perfect. Not an easy man to beat, Mike Conley, but Kenny Lofton giving it all he's got in the finals.
He'll win that from
He can sense it now. Mike Conley needs a perfect 10 to win, and he has brought the judges out on the floor to show them where he will be taking off from.
Michael's got a lot of charisma. He's saying, hey, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Brent Barry, they all scratched on their dunks. I'm going to take off from behind the line.
No props on the court!
No props on the court, says Kenny Lofton. He wants it. Here's the final dunk by Mike Conley, three-time Foot Locker Slam Fest champion. He needs a perfect 10.
Oh, Dick, he took off from behind the line like he said he would. Just didn't quite have a long enough reach. Maybe if he had Scottie Pippen in Brent Barry's arms, he could have made it to the rim.
Of course. So Kenny Lofton is going to win it, beating Mike Conley in the finals.
Right here we see he's got his eye on the scratch line, jumps from way behind the line, only comes up about 2 inches short. That's an impressive attempt for a 33-year-old long jumper.
And Kenny Lofton held his breath for just an instant the miss, and he knows he has now won it. So our congratulations to Kenny Lofton, the 1996 Foot Locker Slam Fest champion, and with it, $50,000 first prize. Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Hey, everybody, give it up for the two contestants! Let me tell you something. That has to be the closest final that we've seen in a very long time. Mike, you needed a 9-9 to tie it at 10. It was definitely your decision to try to plan it right here. Why bring the judges out on the floor?
Well, I want the judges to see exactly where I was going to take off from this time. There was going to be no one would have any doubts where I take off from. I was going to go a foot or so behind the line if I could.
Kenny, let me tell you something. You've the last couple of times you've been here at the Slam Fest, started out slow, haven't finished strongly, but this year you were absolutely fantastic.
You know, the biggest thing I was waiting to do was do some of my nice dunks. And that one dunk is called a Pretty Boy of KSI. That's the name of it. So that's the name of the dunk, and I was waiting to do it, and I finally got a chance to do it.
All right, well, congratulations. Hey, everybody, 1996 Slam Fest champion, Kenny Lofton, give it up for the house! Give it up!
And that wraps up the 9th Foot Locker Slam Fest Championship. A reminder, the NBA playoffs get underway on TBS and TNT tomorrow night, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern. Coming up next, Glengarry Glen Ross, starring Al Pacino. So for Danny Ainge, Cheryl Miller, and Jim Davidson, I'm Dick Stockton. Good night from Phoenix.